Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Frank Miller's Pandora Issue 1. This is a series from Frank Miller Presents, written by Frank Miller, Anthony Maranville, and Chris Silvestri. Art and colors by Emma Kubert, lettered and edited by Pete Carlsson. So Annabeth wakes up to her mom screaming, and it turns out that one of the boarders they had overnight cleaned out the entire room. Took the furniture, took the houseplant, everything. And they can't report it because they don't want to get shut down by Health and Human Services because they don't have their license yet, so they can't call the cops. Annabeth is furious, but there's not much she could do about it. She's a teenage kid. So on her way to school, she decides to ditch and go out into the woods again. It's kind of her safe place. And her trio of arch enemies see her, and they decide that they're going to get her in trouble because they need a copy off her to do well on a test today. Well, Annabeth makes a decision and clocks one of them right in the face. It leads to a scuffle, and her flower gets destroyed. Of course, she is both furious and upset at the same time. She's crying, and who pops out of nowhere? Knox. And he continues to be a weirdo by asking her what crying is, and tries to explain when she cries like a teenage girl actually would. But he instead tries to distract her by taking her to the turn's nest, and there in the center of this clearing is this big giant tree, and Annabeth has never been here before, and she wants to go kind of explore a little bit and look at it, but he won't let her. He points out all these poisonous plants and says how dangerous it is and they shouldn't have gotten this close. And when he gets her back to the edge of the woods, he explains that he has to leave, and she says, "What do you mean leave? Go home?" And he says, "No, I have to leave. This is the last time you're ever going to see me." And they have a very quiet moment, but she's very upset, and it gets worse when she gets home and she finds out some really horrific news. Overall, I thought the story was really good. It's a great young people's adventure. It definitely gives off the vibes that this is aimed at the teen paranormal crowd, and I think it works for that perfectly. It has a very urban fantasy feel to it. There's all sorts of supernatural elements and bizarre things right outside of normal view in the places that people don't normally go. In these liminal spaces, all the people are odd or different, and it's very interesting. I think the art is really good overall. There's a few panels that I would have a quibble with, but again, the overall is that the art's fine. It definitely fits the feel of the book, so I think they've got a good team here, and I would recommend this mostly for teenagers. If you've got a teenage girl that's looking for something new to read, I would say get the trade paperback of this or the individual issues. This issue I didn't have a problem with for $4. $4 is the price of a regular new comic these days. Paper quality's good, the art's good, the writing's solid, and generally when there's 3 writers, the book comes out like crap, but this actually worked out pretty well. This is definitely not going to appeal to everybody, but if you like fantasy stories and teen angst, this is probably going to be right up your alley. So a pretty fun teen book that is very age appropriate. It's rare we see comics aimed at the youth market, so we have to support that when we can, and if you have somebody in your life that this might appeal to, I would say pick it up for them, see what they think. Especially if they're already into like manga and stuff like that, they might be a little more inclined to pick up some Western comics if you introduce them to them through stuff like this. The cover does relate to what's going on in the book too, so I thought that was good. That doesn't happen much anymore, and there's a bit of a sense of wonder about it. It's not just a boring pinup, and it's a vast improvement over the first issue's cover. But that's gonna do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods, and as always, we hope to see you on the next one.